Hello everybody, it's Chris, and today we have a video from the Oliver Gang Fun and Plow Day 2024. This year it was hosted by Doyle Ronau. The Oliver Gang is the first chapter of the Hart Par Oliver Collectors Association, and every year we have a plow day. Someone volunteers to have it at their place, and this year Doyle did. He was just south of the Michigan state line, not too far from Toledo. And as you can see here, this is his Spirit of Oliver tractor. And to tell the story of this tractor, you kind of got to tell the story of the previous one, because most people don't know there were two Spirit of Oliver tractors. The first one was a white 185, and it was painted up similar to this. And it had a slightly different paint scheme on each side, a few other bells and whistles, and this was a precursor to the American series. What they were doing was taking it around to shows, and there was a survey you could fill out. I remember Dad and I went to the Ohio Farmers Science Review. I believe that was in 1988, and took lots of pictures of it that I have, of course, misplaced. But you could fill out the survey, the different features in the cab, the paint scheme, one side to the other was different. And they were kind of getting a feel to see how much customer loyalty there was to the Oliver name and previous companies that now made up white. Well, that tractor was quite the hit. And so White decided they're going to make 3 more, but these were more production tractors. They made a Spirit of Oliver, which you see right here. And it was the only one of the 3 in front wheel assist. They also made a Spirit of Minneapolis Moline that was painted Minneapolis Moline yellow, and a Spirit of Cockshut that was, of course, red, both of those being 2-wheel drives. The Spirit of Oliver we have here was essentially a white 140, although it was also similar to a white 145. The cab top is more like a 145, and some of the other features, essentially these features came out on the newer editions of the white tractors. This is where they made their debut. They took these 3 tractors around to the different farm shows and used them for promotional purposes, probably for about a year or so, and right around 1990. And eventually, like most things that White did, they didn't throw anything away or scrap much of anything. They sold it. In the case of the Spirit of Oliver, they actually Doyle went to his dealer, which was Bellner's in Maumee, Ohio, and telling him he kind of was actually interested in the Spirit of Minneapolis Moline, and they did some calling, and they were able to get this one, the Spirit of Oliver, which, he still liked the idea of. So the tractor was bought and used on their farm. That's just not the kind of money you spend on something and then park it away, for at least most people, especially farmers. So they, did their best to keep it nice and everything. But over the years, it still saw some sunshine and weather. One of the things is the hand lettering there. The Spirit of Oliver was hand done. The word Spirit of, or gold leaf paint, that was hand applied. And some of that had kind of started to give up the ghost and peel away. So in 2017, Doyle decided to have the tractor repainted. It's all nice and shiny now. They did a real good job of matching everything up and keeping it looking like it did before. The Spirit of Oliver is essentially a white 145, so 145 PTO horsepower provided by a Cummins 5.9 liter turbocharged after-cooled engine. A 3-speed power shift, just like the rest of the whites. Overall, pretty much a production tractor, other than those few things that were coming out for the 145 instead of that were on the 140. So anyways, the Spirit is pulling a DMI Hydra-Wide plow. DMI, for the most part, used white Oliver bottoms, so really isn't too much different from a white plow in that sense. The parts that are turning the dirt are the same. The DMI plow does have a lot of heft in it. The hydro wide means they can change the cutting width on the go. That's kind of nice for them, and they have some very hard pulling soil areas, and you can narrow that plow up in order to get it where it pulls a little bit easier, and then on the fields where it's easier pulling, you can widen it out and cover more ground at the same time. You'll notice the windows are open. The air conditioner compressor had gone out on them. They thought they were going to get it fixed, but the wrong pump came in. So still waiting on that part. Doyle's brother Doug is driving it here. It really ended up with some pretty good plowing conditions. It had rained 7/10 of an inch the day before. Doyle said their ground had actually been needing a drink. They'd been getting dry. They got a 7/10 of an inch on Monday and then 7/10 of an inch on Friday. Plow day was on Saturday. So it was a little greasy right at first. Once, and you can see that some of these tractors, that their tires are a little muddy or spinning a little bit, but as the day went on, that slick part of the soil dried off on top, and just really things plowed really good, and the guys that were plowing did a really good job. I was impressed. Sometimes some of these plow days, the fields are kind of a mess afterwards, and the guys have to go back in and try to straighten everything out. You'll notice that we have more than just whites and Olivers at our plow days. The Oliver Gang's always an equal opportunity club. When we have a plow day, if you want to bring a different brand, that's fine. We just enjoy spending some time together and playing with our tractors. So you'll see a couple of different brands. There's a John Deere and Allis Chalmers. I think those were it this time around, but usually get a little bit of everything. I guess you'll see. You'll also see that on my drone footage here, I didn't get a chance to record audio to go with it, so the rest of it's going to have music playing in the background. I guess you'll like it. Turn it down. Okay, now we're flying over to, this is a Field Boss 37. Cute little tractor. It was made by Iseki for White. And prior to this, it would have been a 237. This one is just a 37 because it's a 1987 model. His grandfather bought it new in 1987. And amazingly enough, that tractor had, I think they said 458 engine hours on it. Somewhere right around there. Definitely less than 500. Just always been shed kept and taken care of. But being built by Iseki, it's a Japanese company that gave White a small compact tractor to sell. And when they went to the 100 series on their bigger models, like the 100, 120, 140, 160, and 185, they dropped the 2 off from the compact line. Of course, eventually the 80 and the 60 American series joined in. There was no longer the 2- or the 4-. The model number was pretty much your PTO horsepower. He's pulling 2 bottoms and cruising along pretty good with them for only 37 horsepower. Kind of a rule of thumb with plowing is about 15 horsepower per bottom. Of course, that depends on the size of your bottom and how deep you're plowing. And Oliver had a rule at one point that they had a tractor every 15 horsepower apart during the mid-60s. Every 15 horsepower. And that way, they had a tractor to fit every size plow on up to the 2150 that would pull, I don't know, what did they rate them at? 7 or 8, something like that. Break your literature out and let me know. But I just really, I was impressed with how well this little tractor was doing and how clean it was. It was interesting talking to them and finding out some more of the history on this little thing. Really enjoyed watching it work. And just how clean it was. Just hardly any leaks. Just a good little old tractor. We'll give you some footage here of stuff making noise now. I did get some footage from the ground, so here we go.